Quiet luxury isn't about flashy logos or screaming status symbols. It's the art of understated elegance, where true wealth whispers rather than shouts. This refined aesthetic has become the ultimate flex among those who value discretion, craftsmanship, and timeless sophistication over fleeting trends. So how can you spot quiet luxury in the wild? Here are the 12 unmistakable signs that separate true understated opulence from mere minimalism. 1. Minimal or no logos. The most obvious hallmark of quiet luxury is the absence of branding. While some luxury houses plaster their monograms everywhere, true high-end pieces let the materials speak for themselves. Think of Loro Piana's buttery soft cashmere sweaters or the Rose impeccably tailored coats. Zero logos, maximum impact. 2. Exceptional fabric quality. Quiet luxury prioritizes rare, natural materials that feel as luxurious as they look. Vicuña wool, 8 times finer than cashmere, Mongolian cashmere, and triple-ply Egyptian cotton are staples. Run your fingers across the fabric. If it feels weightless yet substantial, you're touching the real deal. 3. Perfect tailoring and fit. The concept of off the rack simply doesn't apply in the realm of quiet luxury. While mainstream fashion offers standardized sizes meant to fit a theoretical average body, true luxury garments appear as though they were sculpted specifically for the wearer's form, because in many cases, they essentially were. This is where the magic of meticulous craftsmanship transforms clothing into wearable art. When examining a quietly luxurious garment, you'll notice how the curved seams follow the body's topography like a second skin, creating a flattering silhouette without constriction. The armholes are set with scientific precision, high enough to maintain a clean line when standing still, yet engineered with just enough ease to allow effortless movement. The collar lies perfectly flush against the neckline without any awkward gaping, a feat that requires exacting pattern-making skills honed over decades. These pieces often incorporate subtle tailoring tricks reserved for bespoke creations. Bias-cut panels that move with the body, strategically placed darts that create shape without bulk, and internal construction that maintains structure without stiffness. The shoulder seams hit exactly where they should, sleeves rotate at precisely the right angle, and trouser breaks fall with mathematical accuracy. What's most remarkable is how this precision manifests differently for each body type. On a caviar figure, the garment schemes without clinging. On a lean frame, it drapes without swallowing. This adaptability comes from master cutters who understand that true luxury isn't about forcing the body to conform to clothing, but about crafting clothing that honors the body's natural architecture. 4. Neutral and timeless color palettes. The quiet luxury aesthetic has no patience for screaming neons or attention-grabbing brights. Instead, it resides in a carefully curated universe of sophisticated neutrals. Think sun-bleached sand at dawn, stormy slate gray, the delicate creaminess of a fresh oyster shell, and the rich depth of freshly ground espresso. These aren't merely colors in the traditional sense, but rather a collection of elevated non-colors that exist outside the constraints of seasonal trends. The magic of this refined palette lies in its timeless versatility. A perfectly tailored camel hair coat from Max Mara's 1995 collection doesn't just hold up nearly 3 decades later. It looks as effortlessly chic and contemporary today as it did when first shown. This is the quiet power of a perfectly balanced neutral. It never announces itself loudly, yet always makes its presence felt. These hues possess an almost chameleon-like quality, adapting seamlessly to changing styles while maintaining their inherent sophistication. What makes these particular shades so enduring is their connection to the natural world. They echo the organic colors found in untouched landscapes, the soft beige of desert dunes, the cool gray of weathered stone, the warm brown of aged leather. This innate authenticity gives them a staying power that flashy, artificial colors can never achieve. They don't fight for attention, but rather invite closer inspection, revealing their depth and complexity upon intimate acquaintance. 5. Understated hardware. The hardware on quiet luxury pieces operates like a perfectly executed magic trick, present and functional, yet disappearing into the design when not in use. These aren't the flashy, logo-emblazoned zippers of mainstream luxury, but rather meticulously engineered components that whisper quality through subtle details. Take the matte finish zipper pulls on a Bottega Veneta Intrecciato bag. Their dull sheen absorbs rather than reflects light, allowing the buttery leather to take center stage. Or consider the unmarked snaps securing a Brunello Cucinelli linen blazer. They fasten with a satisfying, muted click, their presence revealed only by the precision of their operation. The solid brass fasteners on a Loro Piana overcoat develop a dignified patina over time, their quiet aging process telling the story of careful use. What sets this hardware apart is its perfect balance of substance and subtlety. Run your fingers along a quiet luxury zipper and you'll feel its substantial weight. The teeth interlock with Swiss watch precision, the pull has just the right heft. Yet visually, it recedes into the background, its color carefully matched to the surrounding material. The buttons on a chiton shirt aren't mere plastic discs, but mother-of-pearl specimens selected for their muted iridescence, each one slightly unique like snowflakes. This approach extends to every functional detail. Magnetic closures that engage with a barely audible snick, drawstrings with just enough texture for grip without abrasiveness, buckles that adjust smoothly without squeaking. The true test comes when you handle these pieces. The hardware should feel intuitive, operating exactly as your fingers expect it to, without fuss or resistance. 6. Handcrafted details. The true measure of quiet luxury reveals itself in the hidden details, those exquisite touches concealed within a garment's interior that few will ever see, yet make all the difference in how it feels and performs. When you turn a quietly luxurious jacket inside out, you enter a world of meticulous craftsmanship where every stitch tells a story of patience and precision. The hand-stitched seams you'll discover aren't merely functional, they're works of textile art. Unlike machine stitching that pulls fabric taut in rigid lines, hand-sewn seams allow for subtle movement and give, creating a supple drape that molds to the body. Master tailors employ techniques like the prick stitch, where tiny, nearly invisible punctures create seams of extraordinary strength and flexibility. The thread itself is often waxed linen or silk, chosen for its ability to glide smoothly without catching or puckering the precious fabric. Hand-painted edges represent another hallmark of uncompromising quality. On fine leather goods, artisans use centuries-old techniques to apply pigment along cut edges with tiny brushes, building up color in translucent layers until achieving perfect opacity. This prevents unsightly raw edges from showing while creating a refined, finished look. For wool and cashmere garments, the edges are meticulously overcast by hand to prevent fraying, with each stitch placed at precise intervals for both durability and visual harmony. 7. Investment-worthy pieces. Quiet luxury follows the cost-per-wear principle. A $4,000 coat might seem extravagant until you realize you'll wear it 200 days a year for a decade. The math suddenly makes sense when quality transcends seasons. 8. Silent status symbols. These discreet markers of excellence form an unspoken language among those who truly understand craftsmanship. The cognoscenti can spot a Goyard piece from across a room by its signature chevron canvas, not because it's loud, but because the precise alignment of its hand-painted dots creates a distinctive texture that catches light in a particular way. The way a Zegna Super 150's will suit falls into place with just the right amount of structure and fluidity speaks volumes to those familiar with the brand's exacting fabric standards. A Cartier love bracelet tells its own story over time. The way its polished gold slowly develops a soft, personal luster where it touches the skin, while maintaining its brilliance on the outer surfaces. This natural patina becomes as unique as a fingerprint, recording years of wear without diminishing the piece's inherent value. Similarly, the slight creasing of a well-worn Hermès Bernier leather belt or the way a Loro Piana baby cashmere sweater develops an increasingly soft hand with each wear, these are the authentic signs of luxury that can't be faked or rushed. The true magic lies in how these subtle signatures reveal themselves gradually. To the untrained eye, they might go unnoticed, but for those in the know, they represent a shared understanding of quality that transcends trends. It's not about showing off, but rather about appreciating the quiet dialogue between exceptional materials and the passage of time, a conversation that only the most refined objects can sustain. 9. Sustainable and ethical production. The philosophy of quiet luxury rejects the modern obsession with instant gratification, instead embracing the slow, deliberate mastery of traditional craftsmanship. At Hermès, an apprentice leatherworker spends up to 5 years perfecting their skills before being entrusted with something as simple as stitching the handle of a Kelly bag, a process that alone requires nearly 20 hours of meticulous handwork. This reverence for time-honored techniques creates objects that don't just last, but actually improve with age. Contemporary quiet luxury brands are taking this ethos further by championing radical transparency. When you purchase a suit from a house like Kaitan or Brioni, you're not just buying a garment, you're acquiring the provenance of its materials. The label might specify that the wool came from a specific Australian merino flock, was spun at a historic mill in Biella, Italy, and woven on 19th-century looms to achieve its distinctive drape. This level of traceability transforms clothing into wearable heirlooms with documented pedigrees as detailed as thoroughbred horses. The movement extends to knowing the exact origin of mother-of-pearl buttons harvested from sustainable pearl farms, or which Mongolian herding family supplied the cashmere for a sweater. Some brands even provide QR codes that reveal the entire journey of a garment's creation, from raw material to finished product. This represents a new chapter in quiet luxury where the story behind an item becomes as valuable as its physical form, creating emotional connections that transcend seasonal trends. In an age of disposability, these practices preserve disappearing artisanal knowledge while satisfying a growing desire for authenticity and meaning in what we wear. 10. Effortless layering. Quiet luxury masters the art of mixing textures. A silk cashmere blend turtleneck under a loosely woven linen blazer, perhaps. The effect should appear spontaneous, though every element is carefully considered. 11. Discreet packaging. The unboxing experience reflects the brand's ethos. Plain boxes with subtle embossing, tissue paper in natural hues, and minimalist dust bags. No loud graphics needed. 12. Confidence over conspicuousness. Ultimately, quiet luxury is an attitude. It's choosing a well-cut suit over a logo tee not because you have something to prove, but because you have nothing to prove. The wearer understands that true status doesn't need validation. This philosophy extends beyond clothing, to homes designed for living rather than showing, watches chosen for their movements rather than their recognizability, and cars valued for their engineering over their badge. In a world of noise, quiet luxury remains the ultimate power move.